inside Spalding County. So they just keep on coming. To the north, I don't know why, but they still have that Jackson County and Hall County tornado warning active. I bet that's going to be gone here any moment. We also have the tornado warning in Polk County moving into Floyd County, but the newest one is for Henry and Spalding County until 7:30. Severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located over East Griffin or over Griffin, moving north at 30 miles per hour. Again, been to many school visits in Griffin. I hope everybody is seeking shelter right now over downtown Griffin. There's some overlapping of the boxes, so I'm trying to really make sure I accurately get the message across. So you can see it's riding right along the county line and then cutting through half. And then you have this tornado warning that covers the other half of Spalding County. So we're talking about two different indications here in Spalding County, possible rotation, and there they are. I see both of them very clearly. So you have rotation number 1 moving into Henry County, rotation number 2 moving right on top of downtown Griffin. If you're in Hampton, if you're west of Hampton, let me switch gears here real quick and see if we can, if I pull up Atlanta Motor Speedway again and see what we're seeing outside that tower cam. Just real quick, I'm just curious, and then I promise to come right back to Fox 5 Live Viper. You can see how much darker it is there at Atlanta Motor Speedway. And this updates every minute, so you're looking at a still image here. Again, very dark, ominous skies moving over Atlanta Motor Speedway. And that's right near where we're seeing that active tornado warning just to the southwest of Hampton. So make sure that you are in your safe zone in those areas. Trying to zoom in a little bit closer here. There we go. Hampton, just west of there, near Lower Woolsey Road, Wilkins Road, Lovejoy Road, Lake Cindy Estates, Crystal Springs, possible tornado on the ground moving in that direction. So that is a very, very serious situation. There's State Route 3, which I just know is Highway 19, moving right through Lovejoy, Griffin Road. Again, this is still mainly west of Highway 19 at the moment. And no warnings, I'm doing my best to cover all of them with the same respect, but there are definitely some signatures that are more severe than others at this time. So that's what I'm focusing on at this time. If you're wondering why am I covering certain storms a little bit more than others, it's because I'm seeing different signatures on the radar. And that rotation is eerily close to Atlanta Motor Speedway. So that's not good news there as far as what we're seeing on Fox 5 Live Viper. I'm also I thought we had Atlanta Motor Speedway on our map here, but I don't see it popping up. So I'm just making sure I have my bearings straight. There it is. There's Atlanta Motor Speedway. It's right on top of it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to switch back over to that tower cam and see if we can see any signatures because it's moving right on top. I wish this was a live feed so we could get a better view, but that's the kind of what we're dealing with right near where that tornado warning is in Hampton, in Henry County. And I just really wanted to, I knew we had it in our system, Atlanta Motor Speedway. There it is. And there's your rotation that we're seeing on Fox 5 Live Viper. And it's right on top of it. It's literally right on top of Atlanta Motor Speedway if we have a tornado on the ground. And again, this is a still image that comes through every minute. But when I watch tornado coverage, I always appreciate meteorologists that will show a picture outside to see if we can actually see the tornado versus just showing you radar, because that would absolutely bring a lot more severity to the situation for you at home of confirmation. So what we'll do is I'm going to wait on this to get one more scan because, again, it updates every minute. And you'll kind of see it do a flash frame for a brief second. But the torrential rain is falling there. I guarantee you the winds are probably picking up. You can see how dark the clouds are on the horizon there. And that's towards the direction, I do believe, towards the direction of where that primary threat for a tornado is right now in Henry County. I'm not going to wait any longer because I just got another notification for Polk County, continuing the tornado warning there. Continues the tornado warning. Everything is still radar indicated. We're not getting any confirmation on the ground of a tornado on the ground. And looking back on Fox 5 Live Viper, again, we're seeing very, very strong signature over Atlanta Motor Speedway as we speak. Possible tornado on the ground. Obviously, if you live in that area, you know where Atlanta Motor Speedway is. And it's a very common landmark. So if you are close and you live on the west side of US 19 in Henry County near Atlanta Motor Speedway, make sure that you are in your safe zone right now. That includes folks up towards Lovejoy as well, which I know is a very populated area. A lot of stores, friends and family out running errands. Give them a call and let them know that they need to seek shelter immediately and get to a safe place. The system down in Lamar County is starting to move out of our viewing area. It might clip some of our far eastern counties, so we'll keep a close eye on that, since that has a history of producing some rotating cells and possibly even a history of producing some debris in the air, and that's what I want to look at next. Quite the signature there. A little bit of a signature over downtown Griffin. Again, I apologize for all the flashing boxes, but there are multiple warnings, and I can understand how that could be confusing to try and differentiate between one warning and the other. But we're not seeing necessarily a strong signature debris being wafted in the air over downtown Griffin, but enough that warrants at least double checking, where we are still seeing barely a little bit of rotation, but it seems to be weakening. The strongest rotation that I'm seeing is right on top of Atlanta Motor Speedway as we speak in Henry County. And again, looking at that tower cam one more time, and then this will be my last time looking at it. We're going to move forward with this because it's probably past it by now. And it looks like a very similar image to what we were looking at before. Unfortunately, that is not a live feed. We get updates minute by minute on that. So that's why I just wanted to double check real quick and come right back to Fox 5 Live Viper. Very interesting note. No lightning strikes embedded in this in any of these cells right now over our area, which usually is an indicator for the possibility of tornadoes. But as I've mentioned all day today, starting on Good Day Atlanta this morning at 6 a.m., is the fact that this is the remnants of a tropical system. So you don't need the daytime heating. You don't need the lightning. You don't need that sort of power embedded in this. All you need is just enough spin in the atmosphere to get some of these brief spin up tornadoes in action and moving forward. So 7:15 is your time. Tornado warning until 7:30 for Polk County. Tornado warning until 7:30 in Spalding County and Henry County. Looks like they allowed the one that went to 7:15 by Atlanta Motor Speedway. By Atlanta Motor Speedway, I can't even point in the right spot. By Atlanta Motor Speedway has been allowed to expire at 7:15. But I do believe that they might reissue that tornado warning. So don't let your guard down in Lovejoy. And they're continuing the tornado warning until 7:30 down in Lamar County, and now includes parts of Morgan County or Monroe County, which borders right up against it. Let's see here. Continuous tornado warning for Floyd Polk. We already gave that update, moving at 40 miles per hour. Again, that goes until 7:30 this evening. The Lamar and Monroe County tornado warning, which is right here, which is has shown one of the most significant signatures, at least over the last, we'll say 15 minutes. That goes until 7:30, and it's still capable of producing a tornado. They're not having any stronger wording than that, which is good news that we're not seeing that trend. Heads up in Jackson, Georgia. We could see that tornado warning possibly get continued for Jackson, Georgia versus Jackson County. And then that's where the tornado watch was continued not too long ago. Spalding County also seeing a little bit of rotation. So let me quickly do a recap of what we're looking at here on Fox 5 Live Viper, so we're all on the same page of what's going on. Tornado watch is in effect until 9 o'clock this evening for the majority of Metro Atlanta. They did cancel the tornado watch for Cleburne County and Randolph County, Alabama's, when they extended the watch farther east for us here at home. If that verifies and that trend continues, we could see Carroll County, Haralson County, Coweta, Heard, Troup County, all those tornado watches get canceled as well. That would be the most positive thinking with this, but unfortunately there are more rounds of rain back to our west, and I'm just going to switch over to a composite radar here that's going to look a lot worse, but I need to do that so you can see that we have additional storms on the way during the overnight hours. Let's just hope that the tornado threat decreases by then. So again, zooming in, technically we have 5 active tornado warnings. I believe that this one was just canceled. I heard the alert, and that's what it's got to be. Nope, new tornado warning for Clayton and Henry. So the other conversation I had was talking about that one by Atlanta Motor Speedway being continued or reissued, and that's what happened. So they allowed that warning to expire, National Weather Service that is, and now they have just reissued a new tornado warning for Henry and Clayton County, southern Clayton County, to be more exact, near Lovejoy. I've mentioned Lovejoy several times. I've mentioned Hampton several times. Same thing with Atlanta Motor Speedway. And it looks like the center of rotation here, the couplet, is now moving very close to Highway 19, almost right over downtown Lovejoy. And that's going to just creep right along the county line there up towards Stockbridge. So if you're in Stockbridge, I would have a plan in place. It's going to come very close to the Atlanta airport as it rides that Clayton County line and Henry County line. I don't think it's going to venture too much farther back to the west towards Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport. It's more likely to venture a little bit farther east towards Stockbridge. So I would urge everyone in Stockbridge to have their plan in place. The tornado warning, I'm hearing all these alerts going off, so I just want to make sure I didn't miss anything. Continues tornado warning for Lamar County. And it is southwest, it's about 9 miles southwest of the city of Jackson, moving 30 miles per hour. So there it is right there. But they decided to continue it, even though they shrunk the box, the tornado warning box. They did not continue it towards the city of Jackson, but they're using the city of Jackson as a reference point to where the possible tornado is still located. And that expires at 7:30, which we're 10 minutes away from that. All of the tornado warnings that are in effect expire at 7:30, except for this one, which goes until 7:45, and that's the one that's moving into Clayton County. I've given a lot of attention to the one in Lamar County, the one in Spalding County, moving into southern Henry County towards I-75. I'm not seeing as well defined of rotation in those cells anymore as what I was seeing earlier, but there's your debris detector. That tells a pretty powerful message there that we do need to watch out for this storm. Look at all that debris. That's brand new. And I know that is not an error. That is not an error. I hope everybody in downtown Griffin was in their safe spot. That is a tornado debris signature on radar. That is a textbook signature that we look for with a tight pocket of discoloration in this part of the debris detector on Fox 5 Live Viper. What's interesting, though, is the debris. Actually, it makes perfect sense because it's rotating counterclockwise. So if the tornado's up here, it's tossing a lot of debris back behind it, and it's wrapping on the backside of the tornado up in the clouds, of course, because it's being wafted high up in the atmosphere. I'll let you know how high up in the atmosphere it's being wafted. That's about 1,000 feet up. That's debris up about 1,000 feet up in the clouds in the atmosphere. So that is not good news for folks in Griffin, and I apologize for not focusing on that a little bit more. I may have given up on it a little too soon based on the velocity that we're seeing here. But possible tornado on the ground right now in Spalding County. That tornado warning is in effect until 7:30. It's technically going to expire in 10 minutes. But I bet, based on what we're seeing here on the debris detector, that's going to get continued. And that's going to move up towards I-75 between Locust Grove and McDonough, which obviously is a very heavily populated area. So I want you to be prepared right now and get to your safe zone and get to your safe spot. This is mainly riding along State Route 155 near Pleasant Grove, you need to make sure that you're in your safe zone right now, and that's going to continue to move off to the north at about 40 miles per hour. Cross-checking again with the velocity here, still over Lovejoy. I'm seeing quite a bit of rotation embedded in that as well. Let me double check to make sure that if we're seeing debris there. No, not too much debris. I don't think we're seeing any debris in that, which is good news. But you're seeing back towards Fayetteville. You're saying, why are you ignoring that? Well, that's closer to the radar, so that's interference. That's why I'm not paying any attention to that at the time, and that's outside of the warning zone, and you're not seeing any falling, you're not seeing any organized rain in that area as well. That's why I'm looking in the areas on radar here that are in red, then looking at the velocity, and then looking at the debris detector in that, but still very tight rotation. If this was not a line, I would be able to show you in 3D. It's one of my favorite tools on Fox 5 Live Viper, but it's just going to be a big block. You can't really see anything because these clouds are so low to the ground, and there's so much rain that it would be blinding to you guys at home in regard to trying to figure out what you're looking at. Again, the most debris that I'm seeing wafted into the atmosphere right now is in Spalding County, and moving north towards Henry County along State Route 155, Pleasant Grove. You should be in your safe zone. Head up towards Greenwood, Locust Grove in Henry County, and that's pretty good. Broad rotation there. You're also still seeing some rotation over towards Lovejoy at this hour as well. So most of Henry County under the gun right now. If you're joining us from Henry County, I want to make sure that you're in your safe zone at this time, because it's going to be a very important, that's where most of the tornado warnings are happening right now. And what I want to do is just, we just got another new tornado warning. I just want to cross-check to make sure that I'm clearly seeing all of these images correctly live on TV. Okay, good. So I am. That is a very, very clear indication of what we're seeing happening in Spalding County, eastern portions of Spalding County near Locust Grove and Henry County. That right there, that indentation, that's where there's a possible tornado. Also a possible tornado near Lovejoy. And then now just a new tornado warning for the city of Jackson, which I was shocked they didn't do that sooner, they being the National Weather Service, but Butts County is now included in that tornado warning. So if you live in the city of Jackson, you need to get in your safe zone right now. And that's in Butts County, included in the tornado warning at this hour. And that tornado warning goes until 8 o'clock. So now you're stuck with me until 8 o'clock. And that's just going to be a copy and paste. I'm going to be here. I'm going to stick with it as long as I think it warrants. And unfortunately, I'm seeing too strong of signatures on velocity, too strong of signatures on radar, and also a little bit of debris being lofted into the, or maybe potentially a lot of debris being lofted into the air. But that's unconfirmed. That is radar indicated that I'm looking at. And I'm also seeing, remember, if you were with us when we first came on an hour ago, this is that storm that was going through southern Fulton County and Coweta County that I said we would need to watch as it moved north right along the Paulding County and Cobb County line west of I-75, and I'm seeing a little bit of tightening up in that. So if you live up towards Cartersville, Bartow County, Allatoona Lake, Ackworth, make sure you're weather aware for that, because we could see a new tornado warning pop up there. I just heard another alert go off, so let me just double check. Bartow County and Catoosa County, new tornado warning. Bartow, Catoosa, Floyd, and Gordon County. So as I'm speaking on air about that, they issue, it was a severe thunderstorm warning, and it was for the bright colors that you're seeing there. Again, that was first issued a severe thunderstorm warning in Haralson County, upgraded to a tornado warning, and back down to a severe thunderstorm warning. But in that conversation, is still saying possible tornado embedded in that. So again, the most rotation that I'm seeing on radar is in Lovejoy, riding right along the Clayton County and Henry County line, heading up towards Stockbridge at this hour. If you live in McDonough, you are currently not included in the tornado warning, but I would, if I was a betting man, I would say that tornado warning is absolutely going to get extended into the McDonough area. So I would already start to prepare, even though the warning is not in place at this time. I've seen too much history with this part of the line to disregard that. And new tightening, I've used the word oscillation, meaning it's going through pulses, it being the rotation in these storms, and now we're getting a new pulse as it moves into Butts County. So I'm going to dive into that in a second, but what's interesting is the strongest cells are on the north edge of this, in the middle, kind of getting a little bit of a break there of weakening, and on the south side now we're seeing some the storm system regaining strength into Butts County, and that is State Route 36. So if you live along State Route 36, southwest of Jackson, Georgia, get to your safe zone right now. Potentially dangerous situation with a potential tornado on the ground. This exact cell has a history of tossing debris up in the air. And again, this is what I'm talking about, where you're seeing debris over Jackson, but I'm not seeing any verification on that within Fox 5 Live Vipers. So that's where you can get a little bit mixed messages, and that's why I don't want to rely on that debris detector, but it really does paint a picture for us sometimes of getting clarity of if something is on the ground or not. Again, important to note, the National Weather Service has not had any confirmation of any tornadoes on the ground. We have, however, had some reports of damage. If you have damage outside near you or a family or friend, or you're seeing pictures on social media, let us know so then we can pass that information along to the National Weather Service so that we can continue to monitor this situation across North Georgia. So again, I am seeing, I don't know what I just did, but I just deleted our roads. Hold on one second. There we go. Clicking too fast. Cooper Road, you need to be in your safe zone just west of State Route 36. I say west, but now we're seeing a pulse. What I mean is I'm seeing the red, the rotation becoming a little bit more broad and not as clear cut. So there's your bright green and there's your red. So rounding up 50 and 20, that's 70 mile per hour gate-to-gate shear that we're tracking of a possible tornado along State Route 36. And in that same conversation, just to the west of State Route 36, we're also seeing a little bit of broad rotation. So there's absolutely pressing message that needs to be across right now to folks in Butts County, southwest of Jackson. Heading up towards a little bit farther north, Locust Grove. Okay, so they allowed 7:30. So most of our warnings just expired finally. So 7:30 we should see, and now we have 2 new warnings up in northeast Georgia. So I'm glad I zoomed out. So up towards Rabun County, almost towards Habersham County, seeing a tornado warning up there, and I bet that is not Atlanta. That is not FFC. No, it is not. It is Greensboro. Let me double check what we got here. So new tornado warning. I guess it does clip Habersham County. There we go. So Habersham County, Rabun County, and Stevens County tornado warning until 8:15 and moving northwest at 15 miles per hour. This again, very, very difficult to see clearly of the possible tornado this far away from the radar. And what's not helping the situation is how low the clouds are in the atmosphere. And that really is having a dramatic impact, I believe, on what we're seeing on radar up in northeast Georgia, because when you look at that, you're like, how in the world is that a tornado warning? That just looks like a brief shower. And you might be seeing a similar picture on Fox 5 Live Viper. So what I'm going to do is show you this, which is a composite radar, which takes the Atlanta radar and the Greensboro-Spartanburg radar, puts it together, and gives you a blend of what could be happening. And still, even with that, not looking too impressive on radar and not looking too impressive on velocity. But there's something there that the National Weather Service is catching that warrants a tornado warning for Stevens County, for Habersham County, and Rabun County. I will come back to that storm later on. I want to zoom back out because I see a more pressing situation closer to Metro Atlanta, and that's the storm that I want to focus on, and that's the storm that we've been focused on a lot over the last couple of hours. It's right on top of Lovejoy right now, moving towards Stockbridge. Jonesboro, I would also emphasize getting into your safe zone right now. That would be a good idea. As we zoom in closer, here we go. Chestnut Lake Estates, Drake's Landing, Jonesboro High School. If you live close to Jonesboro High School, make sure you're in your safe zone. Morrow, I do believe it's absolutely warrants you getting in your safe zone, even though right now you're not included in the polygon here or cone of probability of that tornado moving through. I just got another alert, so let me cross check to make sure we're good on that. 728, that was the last update for them. 732, continuous tornado warning for Clayton and Henry County until 745. Possible tornado was over Lake Spivey or near Jonesboro, moving north at 25 miles per hour. And again, so using Jonesboro as a reference, Jonesboro High School also as a reference, Drake's Landing, seeing broad rotation, but enough where it's had history of possibly producing some damage where you want to take this very seriously. We've seen a lot of this rotation kind of pulse where 1 second it's a little bit stronger. Now it's not showing as strong as winds, but the reds and greens are getting a little bit closer together just to the east of Jonesboro at this time. Showing a little bit of debris over Jonesboro. That's possible indication there that we could be getting a little bit of debris lofted up. Let me put it in motion. Sometimes when I put things in motion, it really helps me see clearly of what these storms are doing, interestingly enough, by just picking up on small details. And I'm not seeing, it is also pretty close to the radar too, so that's not helping me in this case to get verification of what I'm trying to identify here by using the reflectivity versus the velocity. And as we look at the velocity also in motion, I mean, that's why you have a tornado warning. I mean, you can see the red and green getting stronger and collecting together. And just to the east of Jonesboro, so if you live between Jonesboro and Stockbridge, make sure you're in your safe zone right now. Take the Fox 5 Storm Team app with you into your safe zone so you can continue to watch our safe zone, our storm coverage, so that we can give you the all clear when that's necessary. Because Lovejoy, you're now in the all clear. Hampton, you're now in the all clear. McDonough, you're currently not in the tornado warning, but I wouldn't be surprised if we see another tornado warning get issued shortly. Down towards Butts County, also and near the city of Jackson, seeing a couple of different areas where it's kind of spinning up here, where you have the reds and greens touching, but it's broad rotation. Broad meaning it's over a larger area versus very tight and close together. And that is in line with brief spin up tornadoes. Again, that's over State Route 36 at this hour. Levy Barnes Road, potential tornado on the ground there. Jackson High School is on the west side of town, and that center of circulation is going to pass very close to that. So if you live just west of Jackson High School, heads up there. West 3rd Street, and there's your rotation really starting to tighten up. That tightened up a little bit closer to Jackson High School, yeah. Getting towards West 3rd Street, West Ball Road near Jackson High School and Butts County. Make sure you're in your safe zone. And then forward thinking on the north side of West 3rd Street, make sure you're also in your safe zone. That includes Paul Maddox Road, heading up towards U.S. Highway 32 or State Route 42, Jenkinsburg, just to the east of Jenkinsburg, right in this area. Anyone from State Route 42 to Paul Maddox Road down towards West 3rd Street, you need to be in your safe zone. And anyone near Jackson High School also should be in your safe zone at this hour. Seeing tight rotation really starting to pick up there. And there you go. You're seeing a little debris being picked up as well. So there's your debris detector showing up there and lines up right where we're seeing the reds and greens come in close together. So that's unfortunate news out of Butts County with a possible tornado on the ground with that. You can see the polygon just changed shapes. So that means we got an update. Cancels tornado warning for Lamar and Monroe. So that's what that update was. It was canceling the tornado warning that was an extension into Butts County. They've now canceled that for all of our friends in Lamar, Spalding County, down towards Pike County, Upson County. You're in the all clear right now. Let me draw a line here to help emphasize and get the message across of where I think we're in the all clear with this first round. So if you're along this white line here and west, I'm not too concerned about new tornadic development. I know that's not a straight line. Doing my best. But if you live east of that line, that's where it's forward thinking and tracking some tornadoes. Again, northern Habersham County into Rabun County, far northwestern portions of Stephen County, active tornado warning there. But it has been so hard to verify that conversation of a tornado warning. I'm just not seeing that within my tools that I have here in the Storm Center. It's not showing up much on radar at all as well. You can see it in the composite radar, but it's not showing up on the single site that well defined, but enough to where there's, again, enough vorticity in the atmosphere that it doesn't take much for a brief spin up tornado to happen. All right, so showing you a view of our entire viewing area. We have multiple active tornado warnings, one in extreme northeast Georgia, other two moving through heart of metro Atlanta on the south side, and then also out towards Butts County. Severe thunderstorm warning that was kind of just trimmed a little bit for parts of Floyd County, Catoosa County, moving into Gordon County. So if you live in southwest Gordon County, be weather alert right now for the possibility of damaging winds. I would not be surprised if we see one of these boxes disappear or add. Issues tornado warning at 7:39 for Clayton and Henry County until 8:15. So that's again, you see the polygon change. That's what I'm looking. That's good news. You want to see those polygons change because that means we have new information. And there's another one right on top of it. Remember when I said McDonough was not included in that tornado warning that came out of Spalding County? And now it's saying, hey, and now the National Weather Service is saying, hey, not so fast. We do need to keep a close eye on that because, again, you're still seeing the reds and greens show up all along this line. I mean, anyone has an equal opportunity if you're not in the tornado warning in Henry County along I-75 right now. If you live in Henry County along I-75, even if you're not included in that tornado warning and you're hearing the rain hit your window, I respect that is probably a scary feeling knowing that there's a possible tornado out there. But that is absolutely a fierce line moving through Henry County at this time. Still watching that cell down in Butts County in addition to that. So where you're seeing now all those blues show up, very filtered there, obviously, where it's doing a poor job of indicating what I want to identify in that specific moment. But it's also that happens with this debris detector, the way it works. Sometimes you get that discoloration over a certain area, but when it's a large swath like that, you know that this is not all debris over Griffin down through Barnesville. What we're looking for is pinpoint locations where you see a dime size or a nickel size small cluster right around the potential area of rotation and seeing that discoloration there. I'm not too concerned about seeing all that discoloration elsewhere. So don't be alarmed by that, thinking that there's tons of debris in the sky when there's not an active tornado warning there. That's not the message I want to get across at all. And it is a little bit more of a technical term that we're showing you. Again, down towards Jackson High School. I hope you're in your safe zone right now. Jacobsburg along Highway 23 in between Jacobsburg and Jackson and Butts County. I'm still seeing that tight rotation in that pocket right there. So if I were to flip on the debris detector and I saw discoloration here, then I would say, okay, that's debris being lofted in the atmosphere, but it's not. I don't see anything pressing. Again, good news on radar. I'm looking for these inflow notches embedded in these clusters of rotating cells. And yes, it's still there, but it's not as well defined of a hook echo as what we saw about 30 minutes ago with that cell. But again, that is the southernmost cell within this feeder band of what's left of Hurricane Delta. So there's nothing to the south obstructing that inflow into that cell. So that's one that I absolutely need to watch closely. We have watched closely because that could rapidly change as far as how intense that cell is. Still seeing not many major updates for the other tornado warnings. Let me just make sure that I didn't miss anything. Continued severe thunderstorm warning. So that's what that was. It's just continuing the severe thunderstorm warning for Bartow, Catoosa, Floyd, but I think it's mainly for Gordon County at this point. And I apologize to all of you in Gordon County that I'm not paying close attention to that. Obviously, a tornado warning is a little bit more severe than a severe thunderstorm warning in regard to my coverage at this time. Let's go back into Henry County, because that's where I'm seeing the highest impacts at this time. Good news, though. I really like what I'm seeing on radar. I'm not seeing any kinks. I'm not seeing any hooks. I'm not seeing much of an inflow. So hopefully that means that it is going through a period of weakening, but not necessarily, because you're still seeing a lot of those bright reds and bright greens lining up right next to each other near Morrow. So that is something to watch out for. Mount Zion High School, heads up. That's a possible tornado on the ground near Mount Zion High School. Again, this is in Clayton County, near Oak Ridge. It's far western portions of Clayton County, right on the county line of Clayton and Henry. And I bet they're going to continue that tornado warning north. So what that means, I'm going to put a track on this, because I bet it's still moving at about 40 miles per hour. So that's a rough estimate of where some of the areas it could impact in the coming minutes. This is why we want to make sure that you seek shelter. So tracking it from Clayton County all the way up through parts of DeKalb County, East Lake Golf Club, you're in the picture here. 20 minutes from now, potentially that rotating storm could move through. And there's your newest update just now. Still seeing a lot of rotation just east of Morrow in Clayton County and just northwest of Stockbridge. Again, the focal point is in Clayton County, even though I'm referencing Henry County in that phrasing there. So anyone in that area needs to be in their safe zone. Columbus High School, 18 minutes. Southwest DeKalb High School, 16 minutes. A lot of high schools in the path of this, and that means highly populated areas as well. So I'm not going to leave this storm until the tornado threat is over. And right now, that's in 1 minute. But I'm not going to get off air in 1 minute because I'm still seeing way too much signature in that cell. And also sometimes what happens, like what we saw earlier, there was a gap about 1 minute where they let that tornado warning expire and then they reissued it. So there goes. One of them disappeared. Oh yeah, forgot. Some of them go to 8:15 now. So that's why those other tornado warnings did not disappear, because it goes until 8:15. And then the Butts County one goes until 8 o'clock. And now moving north of the city of Jackson, that's where I'm seeing it tighten up again. You do not want to see these little commas with these inflow notches, especially when it's the southernmost cell just north of Jackson. That's where I see a potential tornado on the ground. Zooming in as close as I can get. State Route 36 north of Jackson. McMichael's Crossroads, Old Bethel Road, continuing to move off to the north, because that's where it's going to be headed. Worthville, I would get in your safe zone. Peaksville, Union, even though you're outside of the tornado warning. Fincherville, I would be in your safe zone as well, or be prepared to seek shelter momentarily. Zooming in on that note of Fincherville Road in Butts County, if you live along that, especially north of State Route 36, I would be in your safe zone right now. Up towards Union in Henry County, I would be in your safe zone at this time. Leadmore, I would seek shelter. If you live along Cody Drive in Henry County, just in between Leadmore and Fincherville, that's where the storm is headed. Let me put a storm track on this just so that you can get a better idea of why I'm pinpointing those areas of those cities and landmarks there. Moving at about 40 miles per hour. I don't mind having it moving faster than what it could, because it's still going to give you plenty of time. What I don't want to do is do it too short, and then the times are off on that and not giving you enough warning. So Porterdale, 22 minutes. Newton High School, 24 minutes. Eastside High School, 25. Oxford, 27 minutes. Social Circle High School, all moving in that direction. And again, they're moving very, very fast. So we're not done with this yet. And I'm still seeing enough signature on that cell where I bet that they're going to continue that tornado warning. And they might issue another tornado for Henry County. If you live in McDonough, especially north of McDonough now, I would get into your safe zone. It doesn't matter if you live on Conyers Road, State Route 155, Kellytown, Miller's Mill, Barrington, all of those cities. You should be ready to seek shelter at a moment's notice, because I'm seeing quite a bit of rotation in that. And there's it continued farther north of this cell in Clayton County, right on the Clayton County and Henry County county line, near Stockbridge, Lake City, Morrow, head up towards Panthersville. Should go just east of the airport, which the airport is a live camera. So what we might do in a minute is try and look at the airport tower cam and see. I forget if it should be facing east, which is good. That would be facing towards the storm. I was just mentally trying to figure out if we need to move that camera or not, just to try and see if we get a live picture of a view inside the storm. I know I've mentioned it. I've mentioned that, thank you, Lauren, appreciate that update. I've mentioned that a lot of this is rain wrapped and you wouldn't be able to see into it. But when you're on the south side of Stockbridge and you're looking north into that cell, it's hard to gauge how foggy or gloomy it is, where the radar is not picking up a lot of rain, but that could obstruct your view too. And how low lying these clouds are. You might have to be like right on top of it. But it's worth at least having that conversation of trying to verify what is on the ground and what is just radar indicated. So what I think is going to happen is that this tornado warning is going to that expires at 8:15. I bet they're going to cancel that sooner, or they may have already gotten rid of it and the box is just still there lingering. Issues continues. Severe thunderstorm warning is 7:47 for Clayton, DeKalb, Henry County. So that's the one I was referring to just a moment ago. Continues tornado warning for Habersham and Rabun counties until 8:15. Capable of producing a tornado 8 miles north of Toccoa. Again, this is since it's so low-lying clouds, such low-lying clouds, really hard to pick up any rotation in that or any indication on radar of what's happening up in Rabun County and Habersham County. And I apologize that I can't give more information to you based on other than that there's a tornado warning, because I'm not seeing much. And I can cross-check on my phone here just to make sure that I'm 100% accurate in that message, because sometimes when you flip radars, it shows you a whole different picture of what's happening, but they're both very far apart. And even double checking the Greensboro, Spartanburg radar, I'm not seeing much of any rotation from that radar. And again, it's in one of those pockets where it's very difficult to get a clear picture, especially when it's very low-lying clouds. And I'm not seeing debris being wafted into the air as well with that storm. The main focus for me right now is Metro Atlanta. And again, it's not anything towards our friends up in Northeast Georgia. I just don't have enough information that warrants that attention compared to what I'm seeing moving right through the heart of Metro Atlanta at this time. So this is where I'm going to spend most of my time, is in Henry County, Clayton County, and Fulton County. And that tornado warning now goes into effect, I believe, until 8:15. So they're even making these warnings even smaller, because that's how quickly things are changing within these tornado warnings. But all right, so let's find where the rotation is, because it's very rain wrapped in this picture. A lot of rain showing up on that, and that's another thing. The rainfall rate is probably pretty extreme. So I'm not seeing too much of any tight rotation in Clayton County right now. Maybe a little bit on the north edge, just trying to find reason within that, but strong enough winds to where it could still do some damage mixed in with that heavy torrential rain. Down here, that's where you're seeing red and green a little bit closer. Yeah, and that's not even in the warning. That's right along State Route 155, Miller's Mill. I mentioned that. Kellytown, I mentioned that a little bit earlier. I said you're not in the warning, but I would still get into your safe place because I'm seeing enough rotation in that part of cell to where, and I'm zooming out because I just heard another beep, which means we got another update. So I wanted to just make sure I didn't miss another warning. Continues for Oconee. Wait, there is a, let's see here. Get out of here. That must be north. Okay. That's not for that. Okay, perfect. Yeah, that's in northeast. That's for Oconee, South Carolina. That's not for us. I'm in Greenberg chat. That was my bad. Sorry about that. That was an update for the South Carolina tornado warning. The update I heard here in our studio for our viewing area was for the Butts County tornado. They're issuing a significant weather advisory instead of continuing the tornado warning until 8:15. That's where, again, we have seen quite the signature, but now it seems to be falling apart. And that's moving up into Newton County, which I've heard reports not 100% confirmed, but in parts of Covington, already some damage from the storms that moved through earlier today, and some of that same areas could be hit again from that cell down in Butts County, moving to the north at about 30 miles per hour. Expires tornado warning for Butts and Henry County, so that is now gone. Even though it's still showing up on your map, it will linger there, I believe, until 8 o'clock. So 8 o'clock, that will go away. But this is no longer a focus. The focus right now is for Metro Atlanta, as I mentioned, and I'm even seeing this fall apart slightly a little bit. Stockbridge, that's where I'm seeing a little bit of rotation. Trying to zoom in as close as I can. Again, Millersville, that's the city that I keep coming back to of where I see the potential rotation. Embedded in that conversation of seeing that rotation there, gate to gate shear, basically 50 miles per hour. So again, these are not your destructive tornadoes that are going to wipe out brick buildings or sturdy structures. This is going to knock out some of your roof or knock down trees or a barn or a shed or something like that. And obviously when you're driving, that could also cause an impact as well. So again, it is a serious situation for everyone to heed these warnings and to get to your safe zone. But I don't want to over exaggerate on what the potential could be embedded in these tornado warnings, but I'm just waiting for that to get a tornado warning, which would be extended through parts of DeKalb County, Rockdale County, and maybe up towards the Rockdale County, Gwinnett County county line. So we'll wait for that to happen momentarily, I would assume, because it's still holding together. But for South Fulton, extreme north Clayton County, extreme north western portions of Henry County, just south of Panthersville, this right here still has a little bit of concern for me. And looking at the radar, you can see that. See that notch right there? Those are the types of things that I look for on the reflectivity there. And then I look at the radar or the velocity and say, okay, yeah, there is a little bit of rotation trying to happen in that pocket. And not much of any debris being wafted in that exact pinpoint area. So that's good news. And that's north of Lake City. This is east of the airport. Lots of torrential rain, possible localized flooding embedded in this. That's something to take seriously as well. And I mentioned when we first came on air with our first tornado warning that if you had any plans downtown tonight for dinner or something of that nature, to be weather alert, because these storms will be marching in the direction, unfortunately interrupting a lot of dinner plans around town at this hour with all of these multiple tornado warnings. But what is very, very good news is once we are done with this line right here, or this feeder band from what is left of Hurricane Delta, that's going to move out, and it should continue to show signs of weakening. If this was April or May type setup, I would say, oh, once we get past daytime heating, it's going to fall apart and we're going to be A-OK. But given that the amount of turning of the winds in the atmosphere, vorticity from the remnants of a tropical system, all of the spin in the air. Any one of these storms could continue to rotate even beyond sunset, which I know we're beyond sunset now. But I'm just trying to paint the picture that this could linger a little bit longer. The tornado watch goes until 9 o'clock. I'm going to be here till 9 o'clock tonight because we've had so many warnings. Unfortunately, it would not surprise me if the tornado watch gets extended beyond 9 o'clock to counties a little bit farther off towards the east. So again, active tornado warning right now for South Fulton near Panthersville, Clayton County, extreme northern tip of Clayton County, right on the county line there of Fulton and Clayton, and then Henry County included in that as well. And I am seeing a little bit of a strengthening in that couplet right there, just to the east of the airport, seeing that kind of tighten up just a little bit. And some of the estimated winds, again, it's showing 26, 30, 34 mile per hour winds. That's not over the top. That's where some of these are literally like flying under the radar and tough to keep up with and have the latest. And the National Weather Service, again, stressing the same message that I had for you. Anyone has reports or has seen any sort of weather activity to report, they want to know that information. They're very, very curious on if any of these warnings have verified on the ground. So if you have that information, pass it along to our newsroom. If you have a picture, you can send it to our news email, newstips@atlanta@foxtv.com. The people who are behind the scenes working just as hard as I am here on camera will be able to get that message across to the people that are asking for it, and also potential to me on air, being the messenger, because I'm very limited on how much communication I can have on social media right now and checking those things and checking my phone. So if you have any information, you can call our newsroom, or you can email us at newstipsatlanta@foxtv.com. All right, so getting back to the most pressing situation right now, again, seeing that couplet tighten right there, where you see the green and the red very, very close together and continuing to create a little bit more of a narrow tip. So again, that's not what we want to see, and that's now almost all the way into Fulton County, southern Fulton County, and that's a little disconnected from that inflow notch a little bit farther to the west. So that is good news that we're seeing a little bit disorganization in that, but still wouldn't completely let your guard down. And again, not seeing any debris being wafted into the air over the area of concern. You saw all the brighter colors to the south. Well, there's no active tornado going on there, even though you're seeing the flashing box, which should disappear any second now that that warning has expired as of 8 o'clock, and it is now 8 o'clock, or it's 8:15. So that box will be there until 8:15. No more warnings down to the south. Rabun County, you're still under that tornado warning, but I'm not too sold on that. And again, the technology that we're looking at is limited due to how low-lying these clouds are and how it's literally flying under the radar because it's so far away from seeing that. Metro Atlanta getting absolutely drenched. Anyone who had evening plans today, traveling around town, standing water on the roads, possible hydroplaning, all of that should use extreme caution. And look, there's that storm that I was talking about just north of McDonough and Miller's Mill. That's that same cell, isn't it? Yeah, Miller's Mill, just north of there. I am shocked that that does not have a warning on it, and it's still showing rotation. I'm going to treat it like a tornado warning because that right there, that's gate-to-gate shear. We'll round up. We'll say 30 to 15. So that's 45 mile per hour gate-to-gate shear. That's stronger gate-to-gate shear than we have seen in actual tornado warnings that we're tracking off a little bit farther to the west. But that's enough to me to warrant a possible tornado. And then I have verification on that with what we're seeing on radar here. But again, also respecting the current active tornado warning farther to the west. And still seeing that notch grow a little bit more. But again, it seemed to be a little bit disconnected from. So my two area concerns are here and in here, and that kind of updated on me, so it might not be 100% accurate. And you can see how that red kind of has a little bit of a backwards U shape to it as it lifts north. So that could be implied as a notch. But here, right where I marked that other storm farther south that does not have a warning, has very tight green and very tight red wrapped around it. And that area, the cluster of rotation, has a history of having a tornado warning under it. So that is why I'm validating that as an area of concern, and that's moving north towards the Lithonia area. So Rockdale County, you could get under a tornado warning very shortly. It would mainly be for south of I-20 on the southeastern portion side of, not Rockdale, it would be, yes, southwestern portions of Rockdale County right there, and then moving into DeKalb County. Got a little bit backwards there for a second, so I apologize about that. New warning, continues warning for Clayton, DeKalb, and Henry counties. That's this cluster right here, and you see the polygon change its shape. Again, that's just east of the airport. Not going to pull up the airport tower cam because I hear it's just covered in rain, and now that it's dark outside, I even lost track of daylight hours, so we're not going to see that at all. So it's not worth trying to switch gears for that. And even looking at our Georgia Power camera, the way that that rotates, I bet that's covered in clouds too, and we wouldn't be able to see anything looking out that window. But our Fox 5 Net Cam is always available to you on our website, and it is always a great tool for me to help verify where what we're seeing on radar and what we're seeing actually verify outside. So again, the Butts County, you're in the clear. Henry County, I'm going to say you're 100% in the clear now. Is very, very close to the county line there near Rockdale County. But I'll say Henry County, you're in the clear for tornadoes. Clayton County, you're in the clear. Fayette County, Spalding County, Pike, Lamar. I'm very, very confident that I will finally be able to leave your TV here shortly. All jokes aside, it was warranted. I would not be surprised if we get damage reports. I would not be surprised if the National Weather Service has to go out and survey some of the areas around town, especially down towards Lamar County, Upson County, and maybe Spalding County. That's where I saw some of the strongest tornado signatures. Coweta County too, respecting that storm around 6:15. Something that really caught my attention there. But if this goes under a tornado warning, I'll stay on air with that because, again, that has a history of producing tornadoes, or at least having tornado warnings. This seems to be tightening up even more right there. That little notch, that gate to gate there, that's probably a lot stronger as well. 21 to 28, so 20 to 30, that's 50 mile per hour gate to gate just south of Panthersville. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to dive into some of these roads because I haven't really done that with this cell, and I apologize for that. Giving you a street level view right now. Brookland, Chimney Ridge, Cherrywood, River Road, Bowden, all of these areas right here. Hopefully you're already in your safe zone, and just as soon as I say that, it moves farther north. Benton Harbor, State Route 155 in South Fulton County, continuing to lift up towards the north. I believe that's I-20 right there. Yeah, that's I-20 right there. So this rotating cell is moving right towards I-20 in DeKalb County, and on the outside of the perimeter. Let me be very, very clear with that. Outside of the perimeter, center of circulation, moving north through DeKalb County. So that means Stone Mountain would be in the conversation. This would pass to the east of Emory. This would pass to the east of a lot of the major buildings in downtown. Again, since it's dark outside, we possibly could have had a view from the Georgia Power Cam, but not possible. This will pass to the west of Lithonia. Redden, you're also probably going to see that cell pass just to the west of you. This is going to graze very, very close to the 285 I-20 where that connects in DeKalb County. Miller Grove High School to the west of there. Belmont in DeKalb County. Again, emphasizing everything I'm saying right now is DeKalb County, DeKalb County, DeKalb County, okay? And moving up towards I-20 and just to the east of 285. So this would be outside the perimeter. I'm continuing to see pretty good signature on radar here with the velocity and also on radar, but I'm not seeing any debris. being wafted into the air. There's your inflow notch right there. And it kind of just switched on us too. It was on the back side, now it's on the front side, and it's getting that fuel moving in from the south. This little cell just disconnected from it also has a history of rotating, and that's showing. What would be very interesting, let me put it in motion just to verify what's catching my curiosity here. Where's that moving? I need to zoom out a little bit more. That's too close. I can't see that. Let's see. I'm just pausing for a moment to make sure that I see what's happening. Okay, so it's splitting. So this cell is right turning, which would tell me that, oh, of course it updates right when I point. It's up here now, but it's right turning. It's going more to the north-northeast, and that's showing sign of intensification. You can see in the last scan, I'm going to stop it because I want to see that last scan, because now I have a better grasp of what's going on, and I don't want to make you dizzy at home. But this last scan and this next scan that we're going to get, you're going to see it go from kind of like looking like a worm to a very well-defined hook. And they did continue the tornado warning up through Stone Mountain. So guess what? You're stuck with me a little bit longer. Now till 8:30. So let me make sure I'm not missing anything. That's, yeah. Safe zone right now in DeKalb County. Stone Mountain, get into your safe zone. You have friends that live in the Stone Mountain area, give them a call. Very populated area. I know I have friends that live in the Stone Mountain area. I hope they're watching. Tucker, you're under the gun as well. If you live in Tucker, now is the time to prepare. This is a very well-defined area of circulation moving through Metro Atlanta right now, just on the outside of the perimeter, right just south of I-20. So probably the first exit beyond once you get off 285 on I-20 heading east towards Lithonia. Possible tornado on the ground. It would be currently just south of I-20, but it is going to continue to move north. So if you live in Kings Ridge, get to your safe zone right now. If you live close to I-20, where 285 and I-20 connect, 285 connect, and you're on the outside perimeter, you need, whether you're on the south side or north side, get to your safe zone at this exact moment. Redden High School, it looks like it's headed for you. I'm going to put a storm track on this because there are a lot of important landmarks that are in the path of this possible tornado. Again, it's moving at 30 miles per hour, so it could be about 20 minutes now from now where it gets up towards Redden High School, Stone Mountain. You're about 30 minutes away and continuing all the way up towards Tucker. I think Lilburn, I think an hour is a little bit exaggerated. It might be a little bit faster than that. So we'll just have to keep it on because you can see how quickly, even in that last update, it is moving very, very fast. And it's right over I-20 right now. So I know that there are GDOT cameras right there. So producers, if you want to double check the cameras in that area along I-20, possible tornado, you could look for some damage or maybe even seeing some trees down if we're getting verification. Snapfinger Woods Road, Thompson Mill Road, that's possible broad rotation there right on top of you. Hopefully you're already in your safe zone, and I'm going to stick with it. I'm just going to double check, make sure we're good. Okay, that's the only tornado warning. This is pressing information here, folks. Just east of 285, possible tornado on the ground in DeKalb County. I'm seeing rapid intensification within this couplet, very, very well defined of the greens and reds coming together, creating that possible tornado right on top of I-20 as we speak. This tornado warning will continue until 8:30 this evening, which basically would get you to about Tucker. If the speed verifies. I'm not seeing any debris, but because I'm seeing such a smooth surface here and color differentiation, if I see any sort of speck of yellow or anything like that start to pop up, I know 100% that is debris being picked up because it's very close to the radar, and it would give us a very, very good indication of what could possibly be going on in the ground. And you're still seeing, so now it's becoming a little bit more rain wrapped. We're not seeing as well of an inflow jet, and it's because this cell is now merging, being almost vacuumed into this parent cell that has a much more well-defined center of circulation. And that's what I was trying to figure out, what was happening a little bit earlier when I was putting it in motion to try and figure out and gauge. But right now, right along I-20, Snapfinger Woods Road, that exit, Miller Road, that exit on I-20, possible tornado on the ground, crossing I-20 right now towards Miller Grove High School, Belmont area, Farrington. This whole area right here, it's broad circulation, so the tornado could be this far east, or excuse me, this far west, or it could be out this far east out towards Miller Grove, or it could be all in that one area. Because I'm zoomed in so much, it's not that large of a difference as far as mileage and how big a tornado can get, respectfully so. But hopefully that in our next scan we start to see a little bit of weakening, but not the case. Still holding together, now starting to drift just north of I-20. Again, Snapfinger Woods Drive. You need to be in your safe zone just north of I-20 near Farrington, south of Belmont. If you live in Belmont, leave your TV and get to your safe zone. Grab your helmet, grab your shoes. It's now past dinner time. I'm sure we've all been upset that we're not watching football and instead we're watching tornado coverage. So put your shoes on. If you live in DeKalb County, if you live in Stone Mountain, now is the time to take your plan in place that you've had and put it into action, because there's a possible tornado on the ground right now continuing to move to the north. And each scan, unfortunately, it looks like it is holding together. And because we got a new scan, I can double check the debris detector, and we're still not seeing any new information there. That's a good thing. If I say no new information on that, I'm all good with that, because that means that we're not getting debris lofted into the air. As far as how close this is to downtown Atlanta, just to give perspective, you're about 12 miles, about 10-12 miles from downtown Atlanta. That's how close of a call it was for downtown. And let me put, while I'm zoomed out this far, let me put a storm track on this again. Now that it's north of I-20, moving due north at about 30 to 40 miles per hour, and it's kind of picking up speed. So important notes, I obviously I made it emphasize the impacts street level and the most immediate threat, but for